All right, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're not spending too much time away from the fam watching stuff on your phone, but we all need a break from time to time. You got to get away from that aunt. Hope she didn't hear that. You got to, take care of your business and just get some you time. And I know you want to hear about the Dogs on Thanksgiving as Georgia gets ready for Georgia Tech. Jake Rowe joining me now. Jake, let's take a look at some things that Georgia fans should be thankful for about the program and about the team in general. And I'll start us off with a recommendation we got from our buddy Jake Roos. Glenn Schumann, the co-defensive coordinator and recruiting mastermind himself. He's been Kirby's right-hand man since he took the job at Georgia. He's got the Dogs sitting pretty in the 2023 recruiting cycle with some stud commits and prospects that are looking at Athens, Georgia, and who wouldn't want to look at Athens, Georgia? And you look at what's going on the field with Pop and that whole linebacker group after replacing Nakobe Dean and the like. Glenn Schumann, something to be thankful for if you're a Dog.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, man, nobody that has played under that guy, that has actually played and contributed for Georgia, didn't get better while they played for him. Roquan Smith did it. Jawan Taylor and Reggie Carter and Natrez Patrick, you go down the line. There were guys playing for Glenn Schumann there in the early going before the kind of the recruiting wheels got really spinning that probably, were not, Georgia caliber inside linebackers. Now wouldn't get an offer right at this particular moment. And now he's stocked that room with talent and they just reload, dude. They just reload and a phenomenal recruiter. And, like you said, Wes, you hit on a good point there. Glenn Schumann was pretty much the first hire, was pretty much Kirby Smart's first hire. And Glenn Schumann hadn't had an on-field job there yet. Glenn Schumann didn't play college football. His dad was the defensive coordinator, very young guy, came up as an undergrad, graduate student, became an analyst at Alabama, was one of three people in the room, according to Football Scoop at Alabama there at the end when they would put together defensive game plans. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann. That was before he was even an on-field coach. Now he's a phenomenal recruiter, and enjoy him while you got him. Enjoy him while you have him because he's going to be a head coach someday, and it won't be long, and he's probably really good at it.
All right, so Glenn Schumann, the guy, I think if Kirby had his way, Scott Cochran may have been his first hire, but that didn't work out right off the bat. But Glenn Schumann's done a pretty good job serving the Dogs under Coach Smart. So next thing that really just sticks out to me is the mailman. You got to be thankful for Stetson Bennett and the fact that he came back in 2019 after his stint in junior college. But how about the fact that he came back this season, Jake? There was a lot of belly aching, a lot of Stetson just right off into the sunset. You're just coming back for NIL money, and he's made a lot of it. But I haven't seen anything from Stetson's play this season to show me that he doesn't want to be better, he doesn't want to improve, and he doesn't want to repeat with this team.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. There's a lot of thank yous and a lot of I'm sorries and a lot of attaboys and a lot of stuff in the Stetson Bennett story. I've been hearing it more of late, right? You've been hearing it more of late as people are like, you were talking about the biopic with Andy Staples. Yeah. And I thought that was really funny. Timothy Chalamet, all over the place. But you guys mentioned that. I've seen a few fans mention, I've seen some media members mention it, like a story that's, greater than Rudy. A story that's more entertaining and more dramatic than Rudy, maybe one of the greatest football movies in the history of cinema, right? I was thinking about the other day, and that's not hyperbole. I mean, when you think about all of the little twists and the little turns, I think it might be a little too on the nose and specific.
It's really like, this is such a cliche, but if you wrote that script up and you presented it to a Hollywood studio boardroom, they would ask you to change 50 things because it doesn't seem like even Hollywood could depict it in a way that people would leave the theater and not roll their eyes, or I guess these days roll their eyes on the couch as they stream it.
Yeah, it's so improbable. It's like, I mean, next thing you're going to tell me is that old painting is, those dogs really are playing cards in it.
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to tell me that too? That this is real and that's, and that must be real too then, right? I mean, that's how improbable it is. And it's weird, man. And, Kirby said yesterday, and we said it before the show, you actually had to point it out to me because I was working on something during the press conference and I was sitting right there and I didn't even notice it. Kirby, the way he just kind of casually dropped, yeah, we tried our best not to give him a chance. Like, we tried our best to tell him, no, you're not going to get a chance. And
where was he on the depth chart before the 2020 season? Before last season? Let's even go there.
Yeah, I mean, he was at least third last season, and he was fourth before that season. I mean, all you need to know is this cat went 2 straight off seasons where he played at least half of. Okay, Stetson Bennett had 2 straight seasons where he started at least half of Georgia's games at quarterback, and he got 0 first team reps all off season going into either one of those seasons. Like, that's how much Stetson Bennett was in the plans. And he just kind of was like, all right, I'm the best. I'm the best you got. Like, you might want to give me a shot here. And I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was Stetson Bennett, I might be mad at Georgia a little bit.
I wouldn't blame him.
They tried to keep me down, man.
I wouldn't blame him. Look, he's made some throws. Kirby said before the year, we got to eliminate his bonehead decisions. And I think he's done that. He still throws some picks that you wish he wouldn't throw. He throws some balls that should be picked that don't get picked. And it just works out. He's got some sort of magic touch, but he also does everything that Todd Monken needs him to do. I don't know if this offense would look different if Carson Beck was running the show all season. It might. They might accentuate it a little bit differently. But whatever they're asking Stetson to do, he's doing it. They seem pleased with it, and they're undefeated. I think he's lost 1 game since the start of the 2021 season as a starter, and it was in the SEC championship. And even in that game, it was one of his career best performances. His defense just wasn't able to stop Jamison Williams that night. So, yeah, be thankful for Stetson Bennett. And I can't encourage Georgia fans enough to take a step back. Look at what he's done, everything that Jake just said. Look at how crazy it is that this dude is your quarterback and your team is still successful as it is. It is just an incredible story that is easy to take for granted while you're in the stress of the regular season. But when you look back on these seasons and this time, I think you're going to maybe look back a little bit more fondly on Stetson as the years go by if you don't right now. All right. I think you got to be thankful about the top dog himself, Kirby Smart. He's relentless. There's no one like this coach right now that cares as much about having the best program ever with the resources to do it. I'm sure Coach Saban still wants to be the best. He's still competitive, but he doesn't seem to have the team chemistry right now that Kirby Smart's been able to, I don't want to say manufacture, but establish and create as the culture for his team.
Yeah, you talk to some people in the building, and you talk to some people up there at Georgia, and throughout the season, you'll have different folks, that I know they'll talk about trying to beat him to the building, and it may happen, but it's tough to do it by more than 10 minutes. It's almost like he's got like a little GPS in his brain that when somebody gets a certain distance from Butts-Mehre before 5 a.m. that it wakes him up and gets him ready and gets him there. But I've heard people tell me that that they've tried 4:15 a.m. type
it's
stuff.
Like a game
to beat Kirby there, and they've done it. They've done it a handful of times, but only by 5 or 10 minutes every time that he's in the building. Soon after that. And apparently when he walks in the building, trumpets play and it says Kirby Smart. No, I'm just joking. But no, I'll tell you this, man. I think that there's a certain amount of ego that has to fly out the door for an extremely hard worker, because a lot of people, if you've got kind of an overgrown ego and you're this super confident, overconfident type person, then you're probably going to think you're smarter than everybody or you're something more than everybody, and you don't really have to work at it. I don't know what Kirby Smart's true ego is like. I don't know, I don't know how you would measure the
I think he's
hubris.
pretty confident in himself.
Yeah. I don't know how you'd measure the hubris there, but when it comes to preparation, there is zero ego there. There's nobody in college football that works harder, because I don't think it's possible. He is up there all the time. I think this is something that he obsesses over, that he eats, sleeps, and breathes. During the football season, I think that there's, obviously he's recruiting year round as well. But that's just what he's built. That's the way he's built. And on top of that, he's a great football mind who has learned a lot of great football lessons from a lot of great football coaches. And I think he's done something that people sometimes struggle to do, and that's take everything they know and just simply, press it up against extremely hard work and see what comes out. And usually it's a pretty strong comes together, two plies to make a pretty strong piece of plywood there.
I'll tell you a story that I heard from somebody about the building at Butts-Mehre. Apparently Kirby, I don't know when this was, and this is a game of telephone here, so I could be leaving out some details. Apparently Kirby was raising hell one day that something smelled terrible in the building. I don't know if you've heard this, Jake, or not.
I haven't. Oh, this is good. I'm enjoying it.
Something smelled terrible in the building, and Kirby was just raising hell about it. He was talking to everyone that he could, and he was like, hey, I don't know what is going on. I don't know if the janitorial staff has missed something in one of the bathrooms. Something smells terrible. I made that part up. So no one could figure out what Kirby was upset about. Well, they go on to find out after however long it was that there was some sort of gas leak in the building. And Kirby was the only one apparently that was telling anyone about it. And he knew, he knows how that building smells better than anybody else.
That's
and his
great.
nose detected it.
I have actually never heard that. And, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That story just, it was quirky. It was crazy, but I'm glad no one got hurt. And it was funny that attention to detail helped people out. All right. I'm thankful, and Georgia fans should be thankful, as I watch the team, that there's not one guy on offense or defense that really carries the load. Yes, you got your Jalen Carter. You got your Brock Bowers. They're outstanding. But look at a game like Kentucky. Brock Bowers this past season wasn't really much of a factor, and Georgia still did enough to win the game. And Jalen Carter misses a good chunk of the start of the season, and the defense only got better because of it. So that makes Georgia hard to defend and game plan for, but it also is fun to watch. You never know, which paper cut Georgia's going to get you with.
Tell you what, man, and I said it all along, getting this far without Jalen Carter, missing Smile Munden when they missed him, missing A.D. Mitchell for as long as they've missed him, and some other pass catching options. And I tell you what, it was improbable. I would have thought preseason to do what Georgia has done, but when you look back right now, I mean, I don't think just, controlling what you can control and understanding reality, I don't think you can do anything but be thankful for the experience and what you got from it, which is, and this ties in, I feel like, very close to that, Wes, is because there is kind of a group effort here. There's a lot of really good football players here who kind of come together to make, the sum of the parts. It's just try to make a championship football team. Well, when you do that and you've got those guys, then that means when somebody goes out, you've got somebody that's going to have to step in and have to do that. And the parts that make up the sum become stronger in that instance. And Georgia's done that at receiver, done that at defensive tackle, done that at inside linebacker. And I'll tell you what, Steve's got a chance to do something special. It doesn't seem like a lot of folks are talking about it, Wes, and I don't know if they're scared to or not.
I think
but
so.
You're 240 minutes. You are 6 games away. Oh, sorry, 4 games away.
In a couple years, at this point of the year, it could be 6. But
yeah, it could be 6. Yeah, you are 4 games away from doing something that's been done 3 times. Will have been done 3 times at that point. It's been done 2 times before, 15-0, and we're here to cover it.
Whether or not it happens, that's my last point. I don't really have to hammer it or beleaguer it too much. Just be thankful that this is your team, Georgia fans. I keep hearing from people that work close to it. They are very confident about what this team can do, and that should give you a lot of confidence as well. Don't worry about it. Don't panic about it. Look, there's no guarantee Georgia can repeat. I use the R word, but the fact that you're in the conversation to do it at all, I think that 2021 championship unlocked something for this team. It was that monkey off the back. Now they can really chase down every pie in the sky goal that they want to have, and no one should doubt them or laugh at them for it because Georgia's serious. Jake, thank you so much. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And we will be back to talk about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets here in a couple days on DawgsHQ.com and the DawgsHQ YouTube channel. Appreciate it.